Good day, my name is Andre Roux, and I head up a number of programs all related to future studies. For many people, future studies or futures research is a rather alien concept, not at Stellenbosch University and certainly not at the business school. In fact, future studies or futures research has been a thing for almost 50 years. Initially and to this day, in providing a strategic advisory service to big business and government departments, but then for the last almost 24 years, also in the form of a number of postgraduate programs. In fact, there are three. The first is a postgraduate diploma in future studies. That is then followed by an MPhil in future studies, and then also the possibility of a PhD in future studies. So what is this seemingly alien concept known as future studies? Well, perhaps it's best to think about what it is not. It is not a degree or a program that will enable you to predict the future. That's not the idea. The idea is using by now well-established models and tools and techniques to enable us to gain a better understanding of how the futures may unfold. And this can be used at various levels. At a national level, at a corporate level, at a company level, at an issue level. But in all cases, the idea is to identify, as I said earlier, alternative futures. A whole range of tools are used. In the postgraduate diploma in future studies, we lay the foundation for thinking about the future. We look at subjects such as understanding the world, applied principles of future studies, systems thinking as part of it. We look at how to measure and how to make the future. We look at ways in conducting a futures-related project. For those students who wish to become professionals in the field of future studies, we have the MPhil. This builds upon the postgraduate diploma, but it adds to that in terms of things such as a more in-depth understanding of what we call qualitative and quantitative futures methods. It looks at environmental scanning in much more detail, and also helps students to better understand demography and what we call technology futures. And it ends off in two ways. One is a course or a module where students get the opportunity to not only apply their knowledge, but also to develop their own toolkit, which they might find useful in doing a futures project. Part of the MPhil as well is writing a research report, roughly 80-page document where students identify a particular issue and then address the issue and fill the gap in the knowledge by using the appropriate futures-related tools. The PhD is along the same lines as any PhD. It identifies a very big important issue or problem or gap in the knowledge, and then employs recognized future studies methods to fill that gap. But very importantly, it must also add to our knowledge base of future studies by building upon existing models and theories. One way of thinking about all of these programs and the meaning of future studies is to think about the very obvious statement that the future is the only space and time that we can influence, if we so wish. And part of the learning from all these programs is discovering what tools there are, how we can indeed try to influence the future so as to bring about a more desired state. That doesn't mean to say we do not recognize the possibility of unpleasant unfolding of futures, but a true futurist will identify alternative futures, and within that realm of alternative futures, try, as I say, to identify a preferred future and how to go about achieving that preferred future. The programs are relevant and of meaning to just about anybody. The admission requirements for the postgraduate diploma, there are actually two. One is having a relevant or appropriate bachelor's degree, and that could be virtually anything, any kind of discipline. And then secondly, at least a couple of years of involvement in or exposure to strategic planning. The admission requirement for the master's course in future studies, the MPhil, is having a postgraduate diploma in future studies or an equivalent. And the admission requirement for the PhD is, as a rule, having a master's in future studies, either our master's or one offered elsewhere in the world. Incidentally, there aren't many futures programs offered on this planet. We are one of just a handful, really, in the whole wide world, certainly the first in Africa, and that also means that some of our students are indeed from other parts of the world. So, if any of you, and I hope that's most people, have a meaningful interest in the future of society, in the future of the country, in the future of your business, in the future of the continent, you might contemplate very seriously doing our postgraduate programs in future studies. I look forward to seeing you in the not too distant future.